Greetings, my name is Mark Carlin, Director of Student Leadership and Development. We're excited to put this event on. We are co-sponsoring this event with our Career Development Center. I want to point out our director, Larry Burns, over here, who made this thing happen. Give him a round of applause. Not only do we have a wonderful, dynamic speaker today that's going to give you some powerful information, but immediately following, each and every one of you can get a free LinkedIn headshot taken right outside the room. We've set that up. Career Development Center has made that happen and available for everybody. This is our last of our Student Success Speaker Series programs. We've had 6 of them. And some of the other speakers had books and CDs and things like that. And we're making those available to you for free afterwards as well. So if you see something you like on the table, feel free to take that. Why? Because your student money is already paid for it. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing free on a college campus, people. Everything is prepaid. It's already get you the books, get you the CDs, just use them, read them, listen to them, do what you got to do. So without further ado, I want to get on with our presentation because it will be powerful. Sahar Andrade is a diversity and cultural competency consultant and trainer, an international marketing expert, and a certified social media strategist. She speaks 5 languages: French, Spanish, Arabic, English, and Hebrew. She is a corporate and entrepreneurial executive marketing leader, specializing in project management, promotions, and branding. She is an authority figure on LinkedIn. Sahar is here today to speak to us about using social media to brand yourself. Please give a warm, kind welcome to Ms. Sahar Andrade.
How are we today?
Good.
I can hear you. Good. Thank you. That's how it should be. Okay, are we ready today to learn new things about how to brand ourselves so we can start a better life for our careers? Are we ready to do that?
Yes.
Awesome. Today what we're going to do, I'm going to talk in general about what branding is and how self-branding is very important, especially these days in this state of the economy for college students to be easier to find a job later on. So we talk about what is branding, what is a brand message, what is a USP, and then we're going to talk about a couple of social media networks that I believe will help you a lot as college students to take you to the next level. So without further ado, let's start. A Japanese proverb says that vision without an action is just a dream. An action without a vision is a nightmare. So we need to know where we're going with our life. Finding another job. You hear that the economy is really bad, but we also hear that there are people hired every single day. What's the difference, do you think, between the people that get hired right away and people that take a longer time to get hired? What do you think is the difference? Exactly. Standing out of the crowd. And that's what we're going to go through today. So I want you to first start asking yourself, where am I in my career? How far I have to go to graduate? And then where is my career taking me? Actually, where I want my career to take me. Because we have the power to choose where we're going. We have the power to choose what is our future. We are not really a product of the environment, but we actually make our own environment. And then by starting thinking, ask yourself first, what is it that I would do in my life for free? And that should start directing you towards where you should go. You have to find that passion or that fire inside of you that will push you forward. And that passion should become part of your brand. Because having that passion and knowing where you are, knowing where your passion is taking you, is the first step in actually defining what your brand statement is. Do we know what branding means or what a brand means? Any volunteers? If not, I'm going to pick on anyone. Please.
Isn't it like a name for yourself?
And what does that name does for you?
Represents who you are.
Exactly. Branding is like that. Like, for example, when I say Volvo, what comes to your mind?
Safety.
Safety. If you hear about accidents that happen every day by a Volvo car, would you still think about Volvo as a safety car?
No.
So just the name of Volvo, the branding that they have done for the word of Volvo is what makes us think about it as a safety vehicle. And we're going to talk about that later on in detail. So I want you to start thinking, and this is the first step before we go into anything. I want you to start thinking, what is your passion? Where you're going from here in your life? What fascinates you? What are your goals in life? What you think you are good at and what people say you are good at. And that can start you somewhere. Put like on a paper 3 points that you know that you are excellent at. And 3 points where people say that you are excellent at. And try to see what are the common points. And that should be the beginning of your branding statement. And then have a good marketing plan. Believe it or not, each one of us is a product. Each one of us is a service. Each one of us is a brand. So we need to actually self-package ourselves as a product. Is anyone here in marketing? What are the 4 P's of marketing?
Price, product, location,
Place?
place, and promotion.
Exactly. So us as a product, the product is us. The price is the salary that because of our branding we will command in the future. The place is where actually you want to work. And the promotion is how you're going to brand yourself online and offline on how to sell your product. So you're actually a product. You need to have a full marketing plan to move forward. And the marketing plan, the first part of marketing plan, of course, is to go through the SWOT analysis, which what are your strengths, your weaknesses, what are the opportunities in the market, and what are the threats in the market. And that should be the first step before even going anywhere. We have to go through the roots to know where we are. And once we have very good roots, the tree that is going to evolve after that will be very strong. So we need to start thinking about the actual roots and where we are today. So your marketing plan has to think about the 4 P's. And then whenever you are on social media, or we call social networking, whatever, if I hit your LinkedIn profile, if I hit your blog, if I hit your Twitter, it should tell me who you are. I don't have to think who you are. It has to be a uniform, consistent brand across the board. And that's only an introduction of what we're doing today. So what is branding? We need to remember that to be outstanding, we need to stand out. We always need to remember that. To be outstanding, we need to stand out. A brand is basically the image that you want people to perceive who you are. And that goes through everything. It's the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you dress, the way you look at someone, the way you write. Everything about you is part of your branding. Even the colors that you have, and we're going to go through that in a minute. So it's about basically what is it that you say about you as a brand without talking. So for example, if you go to a store and you have 2 products, they're both the same, but one is a plain white box, and the other one is very well packaged with a lot of colors, whistles and bows, but it's like maybe 50 cents higher in price than the one that is a plain white box. Which one would you buy? And they do the same exact things. Which one would you buy? The colored one. Because that's what attracts your eye. Because that package box stood out for you. And that's why we should think about ourselves as a product where we should brand ourselves properly. Social media basically these days is what we call inbound marketing. And the difference between the usual marketing that used to be before, or outbound marketing, and today's marketing that is the inbound marketing, is everything needs an authorization, meaning that as a consumer or as an employer, they have to seek you out by you making them, pulling their attention to you. And that's the difference. Big companies used to do branding and outbound marketing where they used to push their products on us. So we had commercials on TV, we had phone calls, and now what do? Most of us have TiVos and DVRs. So we don't even watch the commercials anymore. And we have a caller ID. We watch these numbers, who is calling us. So we choose, now as consumer or as employers, we choose who we want to pull towards us. So that's what you need to keep in mind. That's why you need to have to stand out as a brand. So branding is a story. And your story has to say or to answer a few questions. The first one is, what is unique about you and about your skills? Do we know what we are very good at? Does anyone here know what they are very good at? What is it?
Talking.
Talking.
Okay.
Talking about,
You tell me, man, anything.
okay. You know what, if you want to brand it better, you have to make it very specific. So for example, talking, you need to say talking about what? That you have negotiating skills, that you have effective communication, that you are an active listener. So you take only talking and you move it forward to be more detailed, and that should be part of your brand. Because even your passion or effective communication or negotiation, especially now, if you add global negotiation, that will be even better. So it's about the market and what it needs and how you can take a simple word or a simple brand and make it fit you properly where you can stand. A USP is a unique selling proposition. And I know even small businesses have a problem defining what is their USP. I consult for a lot of small businesses, and the first thing I ask them, I want you to tell me in 30 seconds, what is it that you do and why you are in business? They go on and on and on for 15 minutes, ranting, without even telling me why they are in business. And then they wonder why they're not successful. Or maybe they didn't have enough advice. So we need to start with first things first. We need to know what is unique about us. Do we have an extra language? Do we communicate better? Are we good at public speaking? Are we good at convincing people? Are you good at writing? Are you good at teaching? Are you good at marketing? You need to know what is it that you are excellent about. That's something that will give you an edge on top of everybody else. And that's how you will stand out. And then you have to be, whatever you have online or offline has to be relevant to your employee, your employer. So you have to brand yourself properly. You have to be transparent, because never beautify your experience. Never beautify your education. Because at the end, truth will prevail. And you don't want to be in that box where you actually put something where you beautified it and then your employer find something else. Because nowadays, people can know more things about yourself than you think you know about yourself through Google. So, social media, in a very short sentence or examples, this is what social media does for you. So if you're talking, for example, about donuts, we said if you are on Twitter, you're going to say, I'm eating a donut, and you have a hashtag in front of donut. If you're talking about Facebook, I like donuts. Foursquare, do we know what Foursquare is? Foursquare is a geolocation. It's like Yelp. Do you know what Yelp is?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Yelp, but it's a little bit more sophisticated, where people have it on their phone and they check in wherever they go. And then it has some badges that you can unveil, and you can become mayor of a place and all that. But believe it or not, sometimes you can go to a place and be the mayor of the place, and the manager of the place doesn't even know what you're talking about. It happened to me. I was a mayor in a restaurant, and I went and I said, I'm the mayor. And he goes like, mayor of what? I'm like, of the place, Foursquare. And they didn't even know what Foursquare was. Yes?
I'm Foursquare, and there's actually, you get coupons. Like, at Hooters, you get 5 free games, like during Angel games. TGI Fridays, you get free appetizers, but servers
Never acknowledge it.
so just like, oh, okay.
And it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And that's why Foursquare is going through a whole renovation process right now. But Foursquare is a localized or geolocation application that you can have on your phone and on your and on your computer too. And it tells people where you are, and people like follow you, and it's the same thing as any other social media network. Instagram is, here is a vintage photo of my donuts. Who's on Instagram? That's what I found. YouTube, I'm here eating a donut. LinkedIn, my skills include eating a donut. Pinterest, here is a donut recipe. Who's on Pinterest? Okay. Last FM, now listening to donut. Who is on Last FM? Do you know what Last FM is? It's a radio where you can actually customize your channels. And you can put whatever you want. It's a little bit like Pandora, but it's a lot easier than using Pandora. And you can have a lot of people talking to you about that, sharing interest and all that. It's a really cool application. try it. And then G plus or Google plus is I'm a Google employee who eats donuts. Okay, what's the social media? Social media, in very few words, is basically news or articles or content that is made for the people, by the people. That's the very basic definition of social media. And I want you to know that social media is about a two-way street. It's about a two-way conversation. So you cannot keep putting like how excellent you are, how great you are, only everything about yourself. It's about starting a conversation. Social media is basically, if you don't take anything from today's session, I want you to take away that social media is about building and nurturing relationships. It's about relationships. It's about building that confidence, building that credibility, increasing awareness about you and about your brand. And a brand has to do a lot with, like we said, colors and everything. Who's graduating soon? Do you have business cards already? Do you?
No.
Okay. So one thing to think about that is not online marketing, offline marketing, is have a business card and have a title on it. Like, what is your major? Management? Healthcare management. Put healthcare management specialist. That will be your title. I mean, whatever you graduate from can start being your title. If you speak two languages, if you are bilingual, for example, English and Spanish, have two sides, one in English and one in Spanish. You can use a little code, inspiring code that can tell a lot about yourself, so people can remember who you are. This is something that you can do with only a business card. And please don't use Vistaprint, the free cards, because it's really cheap, and it's your brand. Do not cheapen your brand. Pay $10 and get 100 cards done. Or pay $20 and go to Staples and have some nice cards done. It's your future. You are investing in your future. You are investing in your brand. And also there are a lot of sites where you can have, I always suggest that we buy our name as a domain name. Because this is like real estate property. My name is my real estate. So I need to buy it to make sure that no one else gets it. You can buy a domain name through GoDaddy. There are a lot of sites that you can get it from. And it costs you like $9.99 a year. So just get it and have it. And if you are graduating soon, start using your website. This is part of your branding again. And make sure that, for example, the colors that you use on your website are the same colors that you use on your business card. It has to go across the board. Your brand has to be consistent. So on your website, put some white papers that you have done. Put some articles that you have published. Put testimonials from your teachers. Put your PowerPoint presentations. Put documents that you have done. Anything that you can put about yourself that will stand out for the employers to see, because sometimes it comes to two candidates that have the same exact qualifications, exactly the same. The edge that's going to be on one versus the other about how they're branding themselves to that employer, or how they are branding themselves, period. So think about a website and think, or there are free websites like WordPress. You can start like a blogging site, and we're going to talk about that at the end. Blogging website and has your name on it, and you can do different pages. One of them will be About Us. And the About Us, you can talk about yourself. You can say, what's your passion? And whenever you have, and this is for your future too, if you think to go for yourself and have a business, whatever you put us in About Us page has to be very, very personal. Social media is about human beings dealing with each other. It's not computers and it's not machines. They're not machines dealing with each other. And I always even suggest for small business, for the owners to go there on the About Us and talk about why they are in business, why they love their business, what is their passion. You have to talk about your fire, why you are doing what you're doing. You have to show that you are interested in getting this job. You have to show that you are interested in moving your career. You have to put all of yourself in that About Us page. And it will be great if you have, especially these days, a video introduction of a minute. Be dressed professionally, not in sweats, not in sweatshirts, not with caps, but professionally. And introduce yourself in a minute. But who you are, your name, your major, what you want to do, where you want to be, and what is different about you? Or what is your brand edge? Or what is your USP or unique selling proposition? And have that little video, put it on YouTube, and then connect it to the website, and you hit two birds with one stone. You'll have all the organic search from YouTube that is owned by Google, and you also have it on your website. And you will stand out. When people see your video, this is the first step already to connect with you on a personal level, second best to face-to-face. Just make sure that you rehearsed it, that you're doing, and you don't have to have an expensive video camera. You don't have to have expensive lighting. You know, you just can do it even on your own, do a video, and then you can edit it on Movie Maker, like if you have a PC, or iMovie if you have a Mac. So it's very easy to do. You need to invest the time in that. So social media includes search engines, social networks, blogs, vlogs, webcasts, email, and all that. Who has a blog here? What does your blog talk about?
Talks about my father.
Your father. Okay. What does your blog talk about? Yeah.
I usually like to post like current news stories that are going on and things like that.
Do you write them or you just repost them?
I just
Just repost them. Who else has a blog? Over in the back.
Oh, I have it under a different name, but I treat it like a journal.
Journal.
Yeah.
Okay. And who else? What's your blog about?
I use my job is KBCR, Contemporaries about college, so I get on there and I repost what shows are going to be on air. I repost up what events are going on. I do it under the blog.
Okay. One idea for you to take is to have a blog and actually start blogging once a week about what is your interest, what you're studying, about what is the industry you're in. So if you are in marketing, you can talk about global marketing, cross-cultural marketing. You can talk about what are the 4 Ps, what is the marketing mix, what's the difference between inbound and outbound. You need to start from now establishing yourself as an expert in what you do. And you can gain a lot of credibility by doing that. The more you put online about your knowledge, the more people will share it. And in the first 2-3 months, you might have 1 viewer or 2. But believe me, if you are consistent and you do it the right way with the proper keywords and the proper tagging, you will be able, people will view you so many times that you will have employers actually hunting you down and not the other way around. Because you already established yourself. You will be the price that everybody wants to get. So that's what branding is. So now it's called Web 2.0 and not more Web 1.0 because it's a two-way conversation. And LinkedIn was till recently considered more or less a Web 1.0, but now with the new additions, and I'm going to talk about the additions that they added last week, they are becoming really in the 21st century of Web 2.0. Social networks are you have YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, and all that. And people think that in order to stand out, they have to be on every single channel on social media. That's not the truth. You have to know, in marketing, we say that we have to have a segment market, meaning that you have to target who you want to go after. And you have to target where they are. And this is where you should be. So if you are a student and you're building your career and you want to find a job, the professional people are basically in LinkedIn. So 70% of your effort should actually be on LinkedIn. And then blogging. And maybe to a lesser extent, Twitter. It's different if you are pursuing music or you are an artist, then other sites will come into play. Like if you are a musician, MySpace might help, or if you are like an artist, Tumblr blogs might help. So it's really, you really need to know where is your audience, who you're trying to touch, and that's what you use as social networking. I want you to remember that social networking online is exactly like going to a live cocktail party, where you go and when you go to a live party, do you just go to people, shove your business card and tell them that you're the best in everything, they have to hire you, nobody else is like you, and you will do wonders in this world, and then walk away? Do you do that? Would you do that?
No.
So don't do it online. Because you'll be surprised how many people do it online. Actually, it's like you are in a live face-to-face party, where you go and introduce yourself, introduce your card, you ask them for their card, you ask them for what they're doing, and you actually start a conversation to build a relationship with that person. And that's the same thing that you should do online. Never push your message on people, because they will tune you off. They will, it's only one click, and they can unfriend you or take you out from their contacts. This is the social media landscape, and as we see, it's really noisy. But the good news is there are strategies that you can use where you can actually use social media for your own benefit. And the first part of you as college students is being, sending to emails where you send your resumes and stuff. One thing that I have seen a lot, and this is not a joke, and I beg you not to do it, do not have emails like hottamalismama@gmail.com. Don't have macho man or sexy man @hotmail.com. You'll be surprised how many times I saw it. You'll be surprised. Don't do it. It has to be very professional. So have your first name dot your last name @gmail.com. No numbers, no nothing. And if your name is taken, try to put a middle initial or something. But use your name. And whenever you send a resume, make sure that in the header or footer, you have your email address, your name, and your phone number. Because sometimes if someone prints your resume and it's more than one page, it can get separated. And they wouldn't know who's the second page anymore. So you need to connect it. You need to have your name, your email address, and your phone number always in the footer. So people can know. And maybe in the top you put 1, 2, the page number. So people will know. Okay? So how do we use the social media? First of all, there are 4 steps. The first one is to identify who are you trying to reach? Who are the employers that you're trying to reach? I say that even for job seekers that are experienced now. I tell them to put a wish list. Have 5 to 10 companies that you actually want to work for. And kind of target these companies, either building relationships with the people that work for this company or people that are connecting to people with that company. So I want you to have a goal. Again, and a vision without an action is a nightmare. So we need to have an action. We need to have a message. Action move us forward, and our actions start with our decisions. So we need to decide where we want to go, what we want to be in the future. It starts and ends with us. So we need to be aware of that. We need to start every morning when we wake up, we need to start, okay, today I'm going to make a difference in my career. Today, this is what I will do to move me forward to my career to the next step. So that being said, and then listen to what people are saying. A very powerful listening tool are the RSS feeds. Do we know what RSS feeds are? RSS stands for really simply syndicated. That means what? That means that you can Google blogs or articles or even companies, that you want to work for. And you can use keywords. Like if you are in healthcare, you have healthcare as an alert. You can also use Google Alerts for that. You can use keywords like healthcare, like marketing, like the name of the company that you want to work for, your industry. You can have on Google Alerts, for example, and it's free, 50 alerts. And what happens is that whenever that name is mentioned over the internet, worldwide, it will send you an email to tell you that this word appeared in this. So you know what's going on in your industry. You know what the company that you are following because you want to get hired there, are they expanding? Are they hiring new people? Are they adding capital? Are their stocks high? Are their stocks low? You need to be very diverse and very well educated about the market you're going in. You cannot just fill a resume online and put it on some website and Hail Mary and just wait for what's going to happen, because it's not going to happen. For every job that is there, at least 200 qualified people apply for it. At the end, there is only one person that gets hired. And that person that gets hired is because they attracted the attention of the recruiter, of the HR manager. And I want you to know that when you do your resume, I want you to think that it appears on a screen. So the most important and vital part of your resume is the top half of the first page. If you don't get the attention of the person that's looking at your resume on that screen, you're gone. And also using keywords. So I'm going to give you a tool that will help you know. You know what word cloud is? The word cloud are the keywords that, for example, an employer is looking for in a resume. Because now there are machines that actually scans your resumes. So you can be the best, bless you, you can be the best candidate, but because you don't have these keywords, the machine did not scan you, you are on the pile of do not call. So there is a website that is free, and it's called Wordle, it's WORDLE.net. And what you do, it allows you to actually copy and paste the job description of whatever job you want and paste it there, and it will give you a map of the keywords about what they want to see in that resume. And they go in color, big or small keywords, so you know which keywords to use. Yes? WORDLE.net. Not .com, .net. L-E. W-O-R-D as in David, L as in Larry, E.net. And that gives you the word cloud of what you should use in your summary. So always have the first half of your summary full of keywords that they're looking for. And that tool is free, and it will help you get a better resume. So then you listen, Google Alerts, RSS feed, and what they do is they send you an email, and you can ask them to send you once a week, once a day, or when it happens. I usually have my Google Alerts once a day. So in the morning when I wake up, I have different messages. So I have my name as a Google Alert, I have my company name as a Google Alert, and I have every single industry that I do something with, so I could know what's said about me or about the industry that I'm in. Or if I'm following a company, it will come to me and tell me what is happening. And then Twitter also is a great search engine. And people use Twitter just to tweet without really knowing the value of Twitter. The value of Twitter is that it's a real-time search engine. So the difference between Twitter and Google is that Google is the best search engine, but it's not up to date. It's not what happened this second. But Twitter will get you what happens this second. And we really noticed that, remember during all the revolutions in the Middle East, you know, in Iran, in Egypt, and in Tunisia, actually CNN took the news from Twitter. They were reposting whatever videos and people were happening because it was real time. You can actually use the tool of Twitter without being on Twitter and without even having an account on Twitter. And the tool or the website for that is www.search.twitter.com. You don't have to be on Twitter to find whatever you're looking for. But if you are on Twitter, that's even better. You go in the search box and you look for the word that you're looking for, and you can actually, the beauty of Twitter is that you can engage with the people of that company that you're looking for or people that are hiring in real time. You can engage in a conversation. And you can add value to any conversation that's already going on. And then you engage by having your blog or by looking at blogs that are considered authority in your field and start commenting on these blogs. And don't comment on the blog, hey dude, that was awesome. No. You say, what a great article, and you put something smart about it. If you have a different opinion, you do it in a respectful way. If you agree and you have something to add, you add it. Because the more your name gets out there in comments on blogs, the more the organic search on Google will show you in a high ranking. You need to mind that. You need to make sure that you appear on organic search on Google. Google has two kinds of search, a paid search and an organic search. 75% of the search is organic, free. 25% is paid, where you open Google and the first thing that you say, you see things in boxes that are yellow or pink, on the top or on the right side.
Yeah.
That means people paid for that. It's a PPC ad campaign. And I personally never click on those. I just go for the organic searches. So you need to be in organic searches. So, and then you promote yourself by building those relationships, by making yourself an authority and expert, by having credibility where people will actually go to you, you know, and ask you for news. There are bloggers that are very, very famous, that are 15 and 16 years old. But they dominated whatever they're talking about in that blog. Don't really talk about yourself, but talk about value that you can add to other people. Each one of you, I'm sure they have tons of value that they can share online. So share it. You know, be generous, pay it forward, and it will come back to you. Okay? These are mostly the social networks that are being mostly used. Who Googles their name regularly? Guilty. It's not even 10%. You need to Google your name. So I want you to promise me that the minute you're going to get in touch with a computer, you're going to Google your name. You have to know what is said about you online. That can hurt you and hurt your reputation where you cannot repair it anymore. So you need to actually, social media, we use it as a reputation management tool. You always have to Google your name at least once a month. Because these days, whatever happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas anymore. You read it on Google. So we need to be careful with all that. YouTube, be very careful about the videos that you put on YouTube. We know that lately there have been a couple of stories, ugly stories, about college students that convicted themselves because they put YouTube videos where they showed criminal action, and actually the police didn't have any other conviction except those videos. So they actually convicted themselves by sexually molesting girls online, and they put it online. How stupid can you be? You know? So, and one more thing, on Facebook, make sure that your pictures on Facebook are not drinking, are not spring break, are not in bikinis, or are not in hot Speedos, because this will hurt you. Any employer, before recruiting or hiring you, they will Google you. And we remember that recently there was a big thing about employers asking people for the password on Facebook. And actually Congress had to come in and say it's illegal to do that because of privacy. But they can actually Google your name and find your pictures. They have accounts on Facebook where they can go and look at your pictures. Make sure that whenever, if you're looking really for a job, if you have a personal account on Facebook, that you restrict it. Where no one else can find you, where no one else can see your post except who you invite or who you befriend. And make sure that you have that do not tag option. Because you can never know. You can become a VP of a company and then someone decides that in college year, in the dorm, you had a drunken pictures and they think it's fun, so they just put it on Facebook. So that can come and hurt you. There are actual stories where people either got fired or not hired because of Facebook pages. So you need to be very careful with that. You need to be careful about what you put on Twitter. Do not use cuss words. Do not, if you're looking for a job, and obviously all of you will be very soon, do not put your political views or your religious views. Because honestly, your employer doesn't care. And if you put something that is against your employer, you're already alienating people. And you can tell me, yeah, but this is freedom of speech. Yes, it's freedom of speech. Have a personal account where you can rent as you want, but block it from anyone to find it. You need to make a choice. You want to rent or you want to find a job. So it's up to you really. You know, you need to put in mind all that. So these are the most used networks. LinkedIn, I believe, will be the network that will get you your next job. I personally am a testament of that. I started my company 3 years ago, and the first year, 90% of my business came through LinkedIn. And I even asked this morning if I have a paid account or a free account on LinkedIn. I do have a free account on LinkedIn. I never paid for anything on LinkedIn. So you need to know how to use it. Why should we care about LinkedIn? LinkedIn just reached its 10th anniversary this week. And it has 225 million members on LinkedIn. 50% of these members are in the United States. All the 514 companies are on LinkedIn. All the decision makers are on LinkedIn. So actually, if you want to reach a recruiting manager or if you want to reach an HR director, you can do that through LinkedIn if you do it properly, surpassing the gatekeepers. Because you build that relationship and you already build your profile the right way. LinkedIn is built on 3 degrees of separation. What does that mean? It means that you have a name. Who's on LinkedIn? Not enough. Not enough. Next to the name, there are numbers. There is first, second, third, or sometimes you see group. First means they are your first degree connection. Second, they are the connections of your connections. Third, they are the connections of the connections of your connections. Group meaning that they are not on any of your connections, but you share a group. So if you are first, second, third, or a group, that means that you are in a network with these people. And the connections on LinkedIn work as a pyramid. So you can have 500 connections, but your base of the pyramid can be millions. Because it depends who you are connected to. I highly suggest that you raise as much as you can your connection numbers. Because raising the connection numbers will help you appear in searches, and that's what you need to be. If someone does a search in your industry, or in your domain, or in your title, or in your field, and you do not appear on the first page of LinkedIn search, you don't exist for that employer. So you need to be aware about how to do that. And I'm going to show you right now actually how to do it. There are 600,000 groups on LinkedIn. So you can actually join 50 groups and 50 subgroups on LinkedIn. It's a lot, yes.
So would you say to make as many connections as you can, you don't really have any connections that first that? Because I mean, you can have, there's a couple of random people that just randomly like, oh, connect with me or something. I'm not, should you be aware of who you should connect with, who you shouldn't be?
Yes and no. And I'll explain in a second. That's a very good question, actually, that I'm going to cover in a second. So, I'm going to get back to that in the next slide. Establish yourself in groups. And part of your question is, when you are in groups, you meet a lot of people in those groups. So you need to build that relationship. Even if you don't know that. You know that I have been hired by people in New York through LinkedIn that I've never met face to face. I did the project for them and I got paid and I never got to know them face to face. So you can never know who's your next employer. And also one thing that we need to remember that this exact second can be your next interview without you knowing. You can never know who's in the room. You can never know who's reading your comments. You can never know who's seeing your video. You can never know who's reading your blog. And I'm going to share with you a very true story. I had a couple of young guys that invented a new little toy. And I helped them put it on YouTube. And so they got 900 views in a week on one video. Part of the 900 people, it was a huge advertising company, PR company from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And that agency is the PR agency for a company that is on the 50 Fortune companies. They actually contacted these people, they flew them up to South Africa, and they used the product, and they're brand new entrepreneurs. So the power of social media is very strong, and that's why I'm saying, you can never know who's watching your video. You can never know who's watching your comment. So you need to be aware that your next moment can be the moment that will change your life. And we don't really think about that all the time, but that's what we need to be aware of. Every single morning when I start my day on LinkedIn or on Twitter or whatever, I always say, okay, today is the day I'm going to get a big account. And I start planning my day towards that. And it happens. Because I planned for it. Because I want it to be that way. Because I strategized for it. If you, before going to social media, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a plan. You need to have a branding message or statement. We need to have what we call an elevator pitch that is 30 seconds. That we're going to use in every single social media channel that we're going to use. So we need to have, there are actually three new features on LinkedIn that just appeared this week. One of them is mentions, where now on LinkedIn you can actually, only in the update page, you can mention your contacts. Like, you know how you do it on Facebook and it hyperlinks to their profile? So you do that now on LinkedIn, but what it does, it sends a notification to your contact. And it makes them know that, so that helps building relationships, and that helps nurturing those relationships. The second application is the contact application. I'm going to show you how it works. Where every morning, LinkedIn comes and tells you, congratulate these people because they get a new job, and say happy birthday to these people. You click, LinkedIn has the message already typed for you. All what you have to do is send. That's it. But what I do, I always like to personalize things. So if someone has a job, and it says only congrats and your name, I say, hey, whatever their first name is, congrats on your new job. I hope the best for you. I make it more personalized. Because again, social media is about being a person, is about personalizing everything. So now it even builds relationships better. The third new application on LinkedIn is the Rich Media, where you can put as many videos as you want now on your profile. You can put as many presentations as you want through SlideShare. Does anyone use SlideShare here? SlideShare is a huge tool for ranking on Google. SlideShare is owned by LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is loved and adored by Google. So if someone Googles your name and you have a LinkedIn profile, the first thing that comes on the first page of search on Google is your LinkedIn profile. So you need to use SlideShare and connect it through the Rich Media application to your LinkedIn profile. And I'm sure that you have been doing a lot of PowerPoint presentations. Put them there. Let people see samples of your work. Let people see what are your capabilities and abilities so you can get hired in an easier way. It's part of your branding. It's about showcasing. Yes?
Oh, yeah. On your LinkedIn account, is it important to put like your brand name as your name or your name?
You cannot put your brand name.
Okay.
On LinkedIn, you have to put your personal name. The profiles on LinkedIn are personal profiles. First and last name. If you put a business name or a brand name, LinkedIn will suspend your account. So you have to have actually your personal name. If you are an entrepreneur and you have a small business, you can add a company page. But your profile, there is a difference between a profile and a page. A profile has to be personal. And now let's see what can we do with this profile. The first thing to do is optimize your profile. Optimizing meaning put in like keywords. Like for example, if you are a healthcare, you have to have healthcare in at least 5 places on your profile. The first one is in your tagline. And a tagline, let me show you. Okay, this is a tagline. And do not put student at Cal State San Bernardino, because that will not help find you. But put your major, put marketing, healthcare, English major, put whatever it is, put writer, content writer, marketing writer, English specialist, healthcare specialist. Whatever you are, just put it there in your tagline. Use keywords that you want companies to find you under. Again, you are a brand. You are a product. And you need to put your best foot forward in the tagline. That's number one. And then you need to use the same keywords in a present job and a past job. And you're going to tell me, okay, we are students, we don't know, you know what, we don't have a present job or a past job. Your present job could be a healthcare specialist, you know, at large or in transit or, you know, somewhere where you can at least have that title. Make sure that on LinkedIn, any volunteer job that you had that you list. Any internship that you had, you list. Anything that you had done, even for your church as volunteer, or in your temple, or in your mosque, or whatever it is, you need to put it as a project. You need to put it as a job title, using keywords, because this is what will help you to be found on LinkedIn. So you have it here, and then summary is very important. There are a lot of people that do not fill their summary. You need to put your summary, and summary doesn't have to be dry. Again, it's like the about us. And you can use I, not third person, because LinkedIn is about being personal. Don't put Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so or she or he did. No, use I statements. Make it personal. Okay, so this is the Rich Media new application. It looks like this. It's like a box with a plus inside. I'm going to take you live in a second. So how to use LinkedIn properly? You have to fill all the fields that you have on LinkedIn. Fill them all. And then you upload your pictures. Your pictures cannot be your dog, cannot be your cat, cannot be your child if you have a child, cannot be you in a swimsuit, and I've seen that. I'm not kidding. Cannot be a logo, cannot be a QR logo. So if you are taking your picture for LinkedIn outside, make sure that you have a hoodie, or if you have a sweatshirt, take it off. Because this has to be a professional picture. It has to be a headshot, not a full picture, just a headshot, professional headshot on LinkedIn. And whenever you're going to start having professional profiles on social media, make sure that you use the same exact picture. Make sure that you use the same exact name. Do not dilute your brand. We don't go to a Coca-Cola site and one side is in red and the other is in black and the other is in orange. We don't go to Coca-Cola site, one of them is Coca-Cola and one of them is Coca-Cola. They're all Coca-Cola, they're all red. It's a brand, and you are a brand. So make sure that in order for your profile to be full, you have to have a tagline, a summary, a present job, a past job. You have to have at least 50 connections. Coming back to the connections that you asked me before. First of all, start inviting the people that you already know. At least you'll have 50, at least. You know, your college students, it's a very gray area if students should connect with the professors or not. It's a gray area, so it really depends on the professor if they want to do it or not. But connect with these people. Connect with people that you meet at conferences, at fairs, and as a student, you have to be very, very active in networking. So start going to associations that are in your industry networking events. Start going to Chamber of Commerce events. Start going to professional events, to fairs, to conferences. Collect these cards and connect with people on LinkedIn. That's how you can increase your LinkedIn profile. Connections. LinkedIn will let you have up to 30,000 connections. After you reach 500 connections, it shows 500 plus. So no one knows really if you have 501 or 29,999. So you need to reach that threshold of 500 because people will start trusting you if you have 500 connections. So in the beginning, to reach this 500 connection, I'll be very frank with you. I connected with everybody and anybody. Whoever sent me an invite, I connected with them without even thinking. After I reached my 500, I started being selective. There are 3 theories on how to connect with people. There is the lion, which is the LinkedIn Open Networker, meaning that they connect with anybody and everybody. Whoever will send them an invite, they will connect with them. So if you want to add to your connections and you see someone that is a lion on their name, that means that they will accept your invitation with no problem. So you can send them an invite. School number 2 on LinkedIn is the conservative one, where they say, I will only connect with the people that I know. And to those I say, Why are you on LinkedIn? You can use your Rolodex. You can use your email to connect to people that you know. You are on LinkedIn to actually expand that database. You are on LinkedIn to connect with people. I have almost 2,000 connections on LinkedIn, and I'm very selective. Meaning, if someone sends me an invite to answer your question from India, and they are doing, they are a kindergarten teacher, I will probably not connect with them. But if someone sends me from Australia, someone that is in the corporate world, I will connect with them. Because there is always that chance that either I'm going to be able to help them or they will be able to help me. And it's about not only if someone will hire me or not, it's about also if I can help someone else. It's about social media, it's about paying it forward. So we need to remember that. So connections can be, I connect with a lot of people that I've never met before, and you'll be surprised how many friends I cultivated through the years online that I've never seen, and that I probably will never see in my life. Again, jobs that I got hired without seeing people. So we need to put in consideration that LinkedIn is professional. But there is a very touchy point in inviting connections. Make sure that when you invite people, you personalize the invite. There is something on LinkedIn that's called IDK. IDK means I don't know. And people can actually respond to your invite if they feel that you're spamming them. People are very sensitive on LinkedIn about spamming. If they feel that you're spamming them, they will answer you by an IDK, I don't know. If you reach 5 IDKs, and that's very easy to reach, LinkedIn will restrict your account. And you can no longer invite people without having their email address. So be careful. There is a way to go around that, where you can, I'm going to give you the solution in case you're there, is to email LinkedIn customer service and tell them, I wasn't aware of the rules, I will follow the rules from now on, and they will actually unrestrict your account. So you need to be very careful. There is an option on LinkedIn, when you go on LinkedIn, that will tell you, import your address book. Oh, these are people you know, increase your address book on LinkedIn. And what LinkedIn doesn't tell you is by default, if you import your address book, they will send an invite to every single person on that address book of your email. So it could be someone that you emailed 2 years ago and you don't even remember who they are. They will send them an invite. Not only that, but they will send them 2 reminders. And people get annoyed. And you cannot delete these invites because LinkedIn wants to grab on these people. You have to actually go and withdraw the invites one by one. If you have a big email address book, it's very painful. So be careful when you address. I rather invite one by one person rather than if you don't know how to import your address properly. You can search people on LinkedIn by their name, not by their email address. You can only search for people by their name. So that being said, use keywords for SEO, add presentation, and there is a status update on LinkedIn. Try to use it twice a week. Like for example, last night, I put in that status update. I'm going to be here today speaking about branding to the Cal State University, San Bernardino. So always, that will keep people aware of what you're doing. If you have a new blog, put it on the status update. And why put it on status update? Because when you put it on status update, it creates a message that goes to all of your connections without you messaging them. So it builds that connection, it will tell them what you do, and people can actually like and share your status update. So it will give you more exposure than just sending messages. Sharing groups section. There used to be a great Q&A forum on LinkedIn, and that's where I was number 5 expert of all time on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, they took the forum away end of January. So coming back to here, you look for people like this. There is a search box here, and it has people, and it has a drop-down menu. So you can search for people, for updates, for jobs, for companies, and for inbox or groups. This is a tagline. And the tagline is 140 characters. So be very mindful on how you use your keywords in there. These are videos, as you can see here. These are videos that you can add under every single title that you have. And there is something on LinkedIn where you can you add your Twitter handle, and you can add up to 3 websites. So these 3 websites can be like we talked about, like when you're going to get your domain name and build your website, or your blog, or even your Facebook page, if it's really, you know that there is nothing that can hurt you in the back after that. You can have your blog, you can have your reports, you can have 3 websites in there. A great advice is when you put the websites, there is a way where you can hear, it tells you websites, and you put other, not my website or my blog, because the generic that is, default is there is my blog or my website. Make sure from the drop-down menu to choose other. And then it gives you another box where you can personalize the name of the website. So you can start, what's your name? Yeah. Ellie? Annalisa. So it will be Annalisa website, Annalisa blog. So she's creating already an organic search for her name. It's all about keywords and SEO. And this is how it will look. It will have actually the names of the websites here. Group association, there are 50 and 50. The LinkedIn best practices is to put your USP as a tagline. And again, a USP, you need to know what is your tagline, what is your elevator pitch, what is it that you're good at, and that has to be on your tagline. No, on LinkedIn, you cannot put an email or a website or a phone number in your name or in your tagline. It's against LinkedIn terms of services. They will take your profile down. So be careful about that. Personalized invitation when you can. Be careful of IDKs. And then you can use LinkedIn as a research. You know, whenever I used to go to speak at conferences, what I used to do is go in groups, or when they had the Q&A, I would put, I need your help. I'm going to talk about this subject. If you were in the audience, what would you expect to hear? And I would get like 50 answers from professional people that will give me their ideas, like a think tank, like a focus group. So you can actually use LinkedIn like a focus group. Go into the groups. You can search for the groups. So enter the keywords that is in your industry. And look for HR and recruiting groups and join these groups. You need to expose yourself to these recruiters. You need to expose yourself to the HR people that are going to end up hiring you. And engage with them. Start asking questions in the discussions. Have them smart. I mean, comment on other people. Make sure that you have a presence wherever you are. Because this, what we call, is your digital footprint. So, recommendation and endorsement. There is a difference. People get confused between what is a recommendation and what's an endorsement. A recommendation is actually when someone gives you a recommendation letter, but they have to be on LinkedIn and they have to be a first-degree connection. A skill is where you can list 50 skills and people will start endorsing you on these skills. And skills is becoming more important than ever because these skills act as keywords now. So if someone is Googling the skill as a keyword, you will appear through your LinkedIn profile. This is the new contacts application. This is how it looks. You have the relationship, you have the note, reminder, how you met them, and how you're going to tag them. So it's basically your Rolodex in your hand. And when you open it, it gives you even your calendar. What you have to do today. It's an awesome application called the contacts application. It's not rolled out to everybody else, but it's getting there. So this is, for example, it tells me, start your day by staying in touch with your contacts. So this was a birthday, this was my calendar, and this is, you can send them an email or you can send them a LinkedIn profile. This is how you can look for people. And this is how the contact, it reminds you, when is the last time you saw them or you contacted them? It emails you, it already has everything for you just to send. And then a note for you to remember what you talked about. And then how you met. So if you're meeting recruiters or HR and you have them on your LinkedIn profile, you can actually add notes on how you met this person, what did you discuss, so you can pick up the conversation where you left. Mentions, and then what's the blog. Let me try to go live on LinkedIn to show you really quick what I'm talking about. Okay, this is LinkedIn. So there is page, there is a profile page, contacts, and contacts is, on the profile, you see this is the recommendation, where you can ask actually people to give you a recommendation whatever you do. This is the jobs, inbox, companies. This is where you search for people. And you enter someone here, and you can look for people through that search box. This is your updates, and right here it shows you what happened. So I have someone that likes my update, and now they mention me about it. LinkedIn reaches 225 million users. This is the box where you can put your status update. And under it, you can see another drop-down menu, and it asks you, do you want to send this status update only on LinkedIn, only to your connections, or you want to send it to LinkedIn and Twitter? I personally put it to LinkedIn and Twitter, and I put a hashtag in front of the keyword that I'm using, so it will appear on Twitter at the same time. Because Facebook for me is not really a professional network. And I just have a presence there, I have a business page there, and I have a personal profile that is so restricted that it just like, it has only 50 people, and they are my nieces and nephews, that they like to go and paint the town red, you know, and I don't want anybody of my clients to see that. So I'm restricted on that personal page, and I have a personal, a professional page or a business page. But I mainly use LinkedIn. So here on the right-hand side, it will tell you how many people viewed your profile, and then how many times you showed in search per day. Sometimes I show up to 100 times a day. So for example, this is what I want you to show like for example, if we go to look for people, and I put social media speaker, and search for that only, because people professional will go and look for you on LinkedIn. So you can see out of 118,000 searches on LinkedIn, I appear number 1. Because I optimize my file to appear whenever someone is looking for social media speaker. And that's what you can do in your profile. Have your keywords in your tagline, present, past, in summary, and in skills. And what you do is you go and you look for whatever title you want to be found under, and see who appears in the first page. Count how many times they have this keyword in their profile, and have it one more time on your, so if they have it 4 times, have it 5 times on your profile. And no matter if they have 250,000 results, you'll appear number 1 on page 1. And that, you know what, people are lazy. They will not go scroll down or go to the second page. If you appear on the first page, I bet you that they're going to contact you for the job. So just be careful, be mindful of how you use it. On profile, when you edit your profile, this is how you do it. I promise we'll do that sometimes today, okay? Here under profile, there is a drop-down menu. If you click on the edit profile, every single section on your LinkedIn profile has a pencil next to it like that. And a pencil is this is your edit tool. So you can go and edit anything you want. And when you're done, you just put done editing. And like you see on the right-hand side, you can add test scores, you can add your courses, you can add your certification, you can add your projects, you can add all that live on LinkedIn that people will have. And let me show you just how many videos I have on my, see, these are my PowerPoint presentations. These are the skills, and you see that I have on some 69, and my goal is to reach over 100 on each one of them. So skills are very important because, believe it or not, again, I got hired because someone was looking for one of the skills on Google, and because it's on my LinkedIn profile, optimized, I appear, and that's how I got hired to do a project. So this is the beauty of LinkedIn. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about blogging, because I think blogging will help you a lot. Blogging is a small article from 300 to 900 words. You can have a free blog on WordPress. It's great, it has a lot of plugins, and it's very good for SEO. You don't have to be Shakespeare to write a blog, but make sure that you don't have grammatical mistakes or typos. And link it to all of your social media channels. There are 6 rules for blog content. Answer questions that people, if you see that people are asking, for example, you are in healthcare and everybody was talking 2 weeks ago about meningitis, write about meningitis. Answer questions. Have how-to lists and publish regularly. Use keywords in your titles and in your content. Best practices, be a person, connect with people, comment on other people's blogs, have people comment on you. If someone sends you a comment on your blog, make sure to answer each one of these comments and build that relationship. Be consistent and do not push your products or your services or yourself or your skills, but just help others on blogging. And that's more or less the end. I couldn't do it longer than that. I wish I could, because I could talk on social media for hours. But the main idea that I want you to take away today is that you are a brand, that you have to have a tagline, you have to have an elevator pitch, and then take it forward to social media. Be very careful of what you put on social media. Google your name. Build these relationships and build your credibility and presence online. So now, any Q&A? I'll stay as long as you want.